Well, good morning, friends. Marco's here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up those football gods here on this hump day. That's right. It is the middle of the week. Half of the week is gone. The Dallas Cowboys get on the practice field getting ready for the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
That's right. We're talking about playoffs because we're getting ready to take on the San Francisco 49ers in a throwback game. You have to look back at the Dallas Cowboys becoming America's team, taking on this upstart Cinderella story of the San Francisco 49ers. It was the 70s Cowboys and then the 80s San Francisco 49ers, and then they mixed that shit up. And the transition of power came back to the Cowboys. Unfortunately, neither of the teams since the 90s have been both competitive at the same time where we've really had that rivalry like we used to. But maybe this will be the beginning of rekindling something. San Francisco, of course, went to Super Bowl some years back and things. The Cowboys, not so much. So we will be getting back on the practice field today as one of the healthiest teams going into the playoffs. Expected back is just about everybody who's on the COVID list, and even the minor injuries that we had. I think everybody will be on the field by Thursday. So we will be ready for Sunday. Have a little bit of an advantage playing on Saturday. It gives us a little more time to rest up, heal, and prepare for San Francisco. The key here is, let's be clear, San Francisco has got a great front four. Their defense, they can put pressure on you with that front four on there. They can get after the quarterback. And so the offense is going to have their hands full. In fact, the offensive line is going to have their hands full. But I'm not going to focus in on the offense right now. I'm going to think more about the defense and what we have to worry about. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G, is a much maligned quarterback who has been streaky in his career, to say the least. He is a good quarterback, but not a great quarterback. He is above average, even though he was at one point the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. This year, he's got 20 TDs, 12 interceptions, and a 98 rating. Nothing to write home about, nothing spectacular, but what he has is he has Kyle Shanahan, who understands how to protect him and how to put him in positions to succeed. This past week against the Rams, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, an 87 rating, but had 316 yards and had the drive to get them back in a position to take it in overtime, where Matthew Stafford literally threw up on himself. You know, we look at Matthew Stafford and we say, well, he had 2 TDs and 2 interceptions. It was when he had the interceptions. Jimmy G had 1 TD, 2 interceptions, but it wasn't a game ender. Stopping that offense is 2 main weapons. You have George Kittle, and you know how I feel about tight ends with playoffs. When you look at teams in recent history going to Super Bowls, you're looking at teams that usually have a great tight end. You know, be it George Kittle, be it Jimmy Garoppolo, the Gronk. Looking at from the Eagles, damn, he's with the Cardinals now. You need a great game-changing tight end because defenses are coming after the quarterback. They become that security blanket. They become that X factor. And George Kittle has been that X factor for them. He has been that security blanket. But more than anything else, it's actually been Deebo Samuels. Now, I got a little clip of Deebo that's going to put the fear of God in you here. When you think about what he is able to do for San Francisco, he is an absolute positive beast.
What's up, Smo?
No,
What you got on my drink?
no.
Nothing.
Don't lie.
And that, man.
What you got, Craig?
What you got?
Broke as a joke.
Y'all some high rollers, and y'all broke.
I'm sorry. I guess I got the wrong clip.
Well, fuck you then, punk.
Oh, okay. I guess I got the wrong Deebo. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Here we are at Broke Ass Media. Sometimes we make mistakes. I got the wrong Deebo. That's Deebo from Friday. Okay. Yeah. Okay. My bad. But Deebo Samuels, he's just as scary. He's just as scary because you're talking about the fifth leading receiver in the NFL. And in fact, I think he's second in all-purpose yards because he's got like 345 yards, 360 yards running the football. He is a beast. He is a game changer. And see, here's the thing with him. Kyle Shanahan is one of those mad scientists, okay? One of those young gun offensive coordinators that understand the new wave of football. In the same way that George Walsh ended up coming in with the West Coast offense, something different than what was out there before, where it was basically 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Kyle Shanahan understands about motion and shifting to, one, find out what the defense is doing, but two, to get the receivers in mismatches. And see, here's the thing. When you start putting a guy like Deebo Samuels in motion and he's coming across the formation, now all of a sudden the defense has to shift to that guy. Now, he may have been my guy. Now, because he's shifted on the other side of the formation in the zone, he's now shifting to somebody else. Or if it's man-to-man, I've got to now follow him across, and sometimes you get lost in the wash. All of a sudden the ball snapped, everybody's moving, and it's like, wait, where'd he go? And that's where you end up having these big plays. That's the first thing you have to do. So they have to be clean on their transition and making sure that he is covered, because he'll make you look like a little bitch. He truly will. The other thing with him is you have to get 11 hats to the ball. You don't look at saying we're going to go one-on-one and stand around and watch him, because he breaks tackles. He is a yak god. I think he's second in the NFL with yards after contact. So you can't just go ahead and say, I'm just going to deliver a shoulder or a helmet and just knock him down. You must wrap him up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to wrap him up, and you have to have backup, lots of backups to get him on the ground. If you can stop those two guys, all of a sudden the advantage goes to you. If anything, you want Jimmy Garoppolo to have to become one-dimensional and really just throw, because I think eventually he's going to end up having some mistakes. He will turn the ball over. And this, by any stretch of imagination, like I said, a lot of people said, oh, it's great, we're playing San Francisco. You know what? It's playoffs. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Everybody is giving their best shot. Everybody knows it's win or go home. And everybody looks at this as an opportunity. And the crazy thing about football is this. Sometimes it makes no sense whatsoever. Sometimes it's just 2, 3, or 4 plays that are the difference of getting a win or getting blown out. You let him get 2 or 3 good plays on you, this thing all of a sudden could be like a snowball running downhill. So you must have a game plan to get him. The second thing you're going to need to do is, if you put enough pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo, I think Jimmy G will get uncomfortable and will turn over the ball. And that's what you've got to have to do to make sure that you get this win in here. The last couple of weeks, Jimmy G's had over 300 yards passing, over 70 completion percentage. He's had 4 interceptions, 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So, you're looking at a guy, like I said, he's kind of average. But, even a average quarterback can sometimes get rolling. So I have not seen this morning. This is a clip from ESPN. Let's get their take on what's going to happen with the Cowboys versus San Francisco.
Like this team, it's about the roster, it's about the rest of the division, and there's a reason we've been calling it the NFC least, right? So when all those factors, the roster, Dak's contract, you know, how many times you're going to have a team built like this that has the potential to get to the Super Bowl? And so for me, the star, that means Super Bowl all the time.
You know, Dominique, I feel like it has been months now that we've been saying, is this a Super Bowl caliber team? Can this be a Super Bowl caliber team? Finally, the time is about to come that we will find out one way or the other. It starts on Sunday. What's the pressure point? You hear Jerry is putting pressure on the team. He's expected to win. Where's the pressure on the most for this team to get it done?
Yeah, I mean, I think the pressure is always on the quarterback, but once you get past that, I think it's really a lot of attention goes to the linebackers. I think what Kyle Shanahan is going to do is going to neutralize the defensive line, the play action and the running attack. That strong pass rush that they have is not going to be much of an impact. But since they have guys like Micah Parsons in that second level who are incredibly fast, incredibly athletic, I think Kyle Shanahan is going to try to use that against them and try to use misdirection, a lot of counters, the end arounds with Deebo Samuels. Play action boot, the type of stuff that's going to get a guy like Micah Parsons, a young guy who's explosive and is hungry in his first playoff game to make an impact. He's going to be going 100 miles an hour at whatever he sees in front of him. So I think it's important for him and, frankly, everybody in that second and third level to take their time, slow down, make their reads, and react to the reads, not react to what kind of eye candy that they're going to put out there. Because I guarantee you, Kyle Shanahan wants to attack that kind of center of the defense, the heart of the defense, the linebackers, and put them in run-pass conflicts. Somebody like Micah Parsons could be susceptible to that, even though he's one of the best defensive players we have in the league right now.
Correct. He's spectacular. He's so spectacular, sometimes you forget he is a rookie. So I think that's an important point. You know, Tim, I haven't had a chance to talk to you this week. It feels like the moment the matchups were settled, there was this whole, oh my goodness, look what happened to, look what happened to Dallas here. What do you think of this matchup for the Cowboys?
Granny, it's the first thing I thought of. I was working Sunday night, and boom, it pops up, and I think that's a tough draw. And it's like Dominique and I are sharing a notebook. The reason it's a tough draw is that the 49ers are a really physical football team. But the other thing they do, maybe better than anybody, is the misdirection passing game. But they also do a good job of it in the run game. And it's what works against fast flow defenses. It's what you do. You basically say, look, you're really good at that. You're going to run to the football. We're going to use that against you. We're going to take your strengths and basically make it a weakness of yours. And you think about what Dominique said, and he knows. Like, you're saying, hey, you're on the defensive side of the ball. We need you to slow down. Like that's literally what you're thinking about. And it's kind of counterintuitive to how Dallas has played defense this year. It basically has been, look, we're big, fast, athletic. We're just going to wind you up and let you go. And you can't do that against this 49ers offense.
Can I throw a different thought in there? As I was listening to Jerry talk, it occurred to me, because I asked Dominique, what's the pressure point? And we brought that up in our meeting this morning. As he's saying, it's about availability. We're in good shape. Everybody's here. We're ready for a run. That feels to me like the pressure goes on the coach. It feels to me like he's basically saying there are no excuses. This is a Super Bowl team. I feel like I have the team to win this thing. If this doesn't go well, especially if they're one and done, I feel like a lot of the attention will go on the head coach.
Mike McCarthy just needs one game. One game. If he can get one game, if he can get past the 49ers, I think he's good. But if they were to be one and done with this roster, after how many times we've been talking about Mike McCarthy this season, and does he put his team in the best situation? Does he understand clock management? Is he going to be the liability for this roster? It's going to be bad in Dallas if he's.
I think Mike McCarthy's responsibility goes past just the time management, but it goes to the stuff that we're just talking about in that properly preparing young guys like Micah Parsons for the game. The stuff about slow down, Micah Parsons may or may not be watching Get Up this morning, but whether he is or isn't, I think that's on McCarthy to go get that message to these guys. Like, this is how they're going to attack you. I know this is your first playoff game. I know you're excited. I know you want to make a big play. But watch these 30 plays from the season that they use this type of action to fool players like you. So I think that falls on Mike McCarthy also, how prepared this team is, and understanding that the best thing they can do for their defense is get out to a good lead early offensively. So that pressure goes Mike McCarthy, right to Kellen Moore, right to Dak Prescott.
No, that's exactly right. And both Moore and Dan Quinn, the coordinators, are guys who are being talked about for potentially other coaching jobs. All right, so that's one game. Then there's the team that's sitting home this weekend.
Okay, so their thoughts? Stop Deebo. Mike McCarthy on the hot seat. And we'll have to wait and see where we get with this weekend. Boy, can't wait. I got some good news, though, this morning. Found out that my Inventables is actually being shipped or has been shipped. So it'll be here in the next couple of days. So got more work to do in the workshop to finish getting everything set up. So with that being said, it is time for us to get ready to get out of here. Let me say that one more time. Got some good news today, which is my Inventables is on its way here. So it'll be here in the next couple of days, which means I've got a lot of work to do in the workshop. And I'm going to get to it. And as always, friends, you know how we roll.
Our Coach here, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the show for the Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is